Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. Today we are again looking ahead into the year 2025, the year of the wood snake, and we're doing so from a purple star astrology perspective, so from a Ziwei Doushu perspective. And specifically, we're looking at your personal wealth outlook for the year of the wood snake. Again, the year of the wood snake starts on February 3rd, 2025. But of course, it's always good to know what the year brings ahead of time so you can hit the ground running and make sure that you are already now planning for the type of actions that you need to take. So this is just a wealth outlook. And we are going to look at what is it that you need to do in 2025 to enhance or improve or boost your wealth outlook, and what are the sort of activities or actions that you should rather avoid or postpone to a better year. All right. Now, of course, first things first, you need to plot your Ziwei Doushu natal chart. So you can go to this link here, and I'm also posting the link in the description to the video, so you can just copy paste and then plot your chart. Now, what's important is that you do know your time of birth, because this is critical in order to actually get your natal chart in Ziwei Doushu. Without the natal or without the birth time, it's impossible to plot this chart. Also, even though Purple Star Astrology is based on the lunar calendar, just enter your solar calendar date and time of birth. So just the regular date and time of birth that you always use, and the plotter converts it automatically into lunar time. Yeah, so not to worry. And of course, as you can see here circled, select the flying stars plotting method. Yeah, not the Sanhe method. Select the flying stars method for plotting. All right. Now, our focus point for this analysis is the snake palace. Now, when you plot your Ziwei Doushu natal chart, you will get a chart that looks like this, more or less. The arrangement of the palaces is probably different from person to person, but we all have 12 palaces. And the one thing that does not change is the position of the earthly branch palaces. Now, the snake palace is very, very easy to identify. It is always in the upper left where you see the snake. This is the same for absolutely everyone. So identify your snake palace. It's in the upper left in the corner. This is your snake palace where you can see the snake. Now, we focus on this palace because, of course, we are entering the snake year. Therefore, this is our focus point. Now, for some of you, this may actually be the wealth palace. For some of us, it may be the spouse palace or the friends palace, or like in this case, the children palace. It doesn't matter. So even though we are focusing on wealth, on the wealth prospects for 2025, the snake palace does not have to be associated with your wealth palace. So ignore the actual aspect that is represented by the snake palace, and rather what we are looking for are the stars that are located in this palace. Yeah, so you may have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars in this palace. Maybe it's empty. Yeah, that's also possible, and I will get to that later on, so don't worry. But identify the stars that are actually in this particular palace, because the stars will tell us what we can expect, what we can anticipate to come into your life from a wealth perspective, because depending on which stars you have there, you will have a different wealth outlook in 2025. Now, some of these outlooks are better than others, but it doesn't mean that you're going to struggle financially. You just need to take the right actions and maximize the energies that you do have in order to succeed anyway. All right. Now, we start first with all those who have Ziwei and Qisha together in the snake palace. Yeah, they appear together. So for those of you who have this part of this type of setup, like what you see here on the screen, Ziwei and Qisha in the snake palace, this indicates that for the year 2025, you actually have an above average wealth outlook, or the wealth conditions for you are above average. There is likely to be a little bit more positive progress in terms of wealth compared to 2024. And in 2025, you also have a lot of nobleman help. A lot of people will help and guide you, especially as far as your career and your wealth or your financial matters are concerned. So what's important is that you learn to ask for help, but also that you get the attention of your superiors, your managers, so that they will think of you first whenever a promotion comes up. Yeah, because wealth obviously is always tied to what we're actually doing for work, because work is what pays, right? So you got to make sure that you are on the forefront or on the mind of those who can determine how much you are being paid. So make sure you show off your talents and skills, and show your superiors, your bosses, your managers, or your clients, if you're a business owner, that you are reliable and dependable, because then you will get paid more. Also, you need to be very proactive and take responsibilities for projects. Yeah, step up for projects when they come your way, rather than delegating them to other people. In order to attract more wealth, you actually need to build up your reputation as someone who takes on projects, even though they may be a little bit challenging or difficult. Yeah. So make sure that you do that. And let's say if you're during meetings, business meetings or meetings around money matters, be a solution provider rather than someone who just only focuses on the problems. Yeah. So that becomes very, very important, because that again enhances your reputation. All right. So this is for those who have Ziwei and Qisha both in the Snake Palace. Now, next up, we have Wuqu and Pojun together in the Snake Palace. So, if you have this sort of setup, then your wealth outlook is a little bit average in 2025. But not to worry. Yeah, you may think you stagnate and you're not improving, since everything sort of like remains the same. But at least it's not getting worse, right? So that would be much, much worse. Now, the thing is that at some point in 2025, you will suddenly have the courage to take a bold move and take a bit of a risk in 2025. And that can ultimately, in the long run, improve your wealth situation, even though you don't see this immediately happening, right? So there's no obvious sign that your wealth situation will improve. However, taking a bit of a risk, a calculated risk, of course, will make you feel better emotionally about your financial situation, and in the long run, it will pay off. Again, don't take uncalculated risks and don't do stupid things. But at some point in 2025, you will be faced with a situation where you feel like, okay, so this may be a little bit of a risky move, but you are safe in doing so. So the other actions that you should be doing in 2025 is to just develop new skill sets and make yourself more valuable to those who are working with you or to those who you work for. So focus on quality, not quantity. And that means you need to improve the quality of your work. You have to be more professional than the others and show others that you have truly mastered or have specialized in one particular subject matter, because that again then helps you increase your fees or increase your value, because if you're the only one who can do a particular thing, you will be in demand. So this is for those who have Wuqu and Pojun together in the Snake Palace. Now, next up, we have Lianzhen and Tanlang together in the Snake Palace. Again, this is a good sign. So this is above average wealth condition. And it means that generally speaking, your career or your financial situation remains stable in 2025. But to make sure that you get the sort of financial rewards that you desire, you need to still take the right actions. So in 2025, for those who have Lianzhen and Tanlang in the Snake Palace, more wealth does not necessarily come through investments. It comes rather through your capabilities and the credibility you have within your field. So people need to see that you are capable of doing what you're doing, or that you're capable of doing what you're actually advertising. You need to bring something to the table. You can't just be a freeloader and let others do the job. Your skills and experience is what makes you valuable. So you must have skills that cannot be replaced by AI, for example, or by some machine or by a computer. And in order to do so, look at what skills you have right now, look at how you could improve them, and look at what is it within your skill set that could potentially be replaced by AI and what doesn't. This is what cannot be replaced by AI is what you need to focus on and what you need to develop further. Credibility is also extremely important. If you're capable, but nobody believes you because you're not credible, you will not make money. So learn from experts who are willing to share their secrets to success, or who are willing to share their expertise, and then let other people know these are the experts, these are the masters I've studied from, and that will give you credibility. Yeah, so credibility is very, very important. Now, next up, we have Tianji. So if you have Tianji in your snake palace, you have to be a little bit careful in 2025. There is a high risk of investment losses. Yeah, so guard your money carefully and do not enter into any risky investment plans, even if they sound promising. Yeah, a lot of times we get these investment plans or these investment schemes that sound really, really good, but actually it's just fluff. So they, for you, if you have the Tianzi in your snake palace, they tend to be a trap and you won't be able to get out of it. So rather than rushing into any sort of investment, no matter how good it sounds, do your due diligence, maybe get a third party involved to look at the actual proposal before you commit financially. So you may be offered a perfect opportunity, but you will lose your money eventually. And so really, really be careful. If you sign a new contract, make sure that you read the terms and conditions really carefully so that it doesn't bite you in the ass later on. And even if you're not investing, even if you don't have any ongoing investments, or if you're not planning on entering into any investments, you may still lose money due to some unexpected events in your life. So it doesn't have to be anything super dramatic. Maybe your car needs a repair, or maybe suddenly your toilet is leaking and it costs a lot to fix, or whatever, like things like really, really annoying things like that, unexpected expenses. So the key here is to sort of like build in a bit of a buffer in your budget for 2025 and really avoid spending money on unnecessary things. Keep a low financial profile and don't plan on any big moves in 2025. You can do that in a later year, which is absolutely fine. But for 2025, just don't make any important or drastic financial decisions. Your main goal should be to gain more. Um, uh, should not be on gaining more, but rather on losing less. Yeah. So safeguard your savings. This is the key for Tianji in 2025. Now, next up, we have Tiantong. So if you have Tiantong in your snake palace, again, financial luck is not all that great in 2025, but it doesn't mean that you go bankrupt. It doesn't mean that you lose all your money. You just need to be careful. Yeah. What will likely happen in 2025 is that the money you earn is below your expectations or below the budget that you've planned for. You may still get a lot of work, but you may be paid less. Maybe your clients can't afford your fees, and so you have to lower them a little bit in order to actually be able to get those clients on board, or you have to give a lot of discounts. These kind of things. There's still a lot of work. So do take on the work, even though it may be paid less, but ultimately, in the long run, you have the ability to retain those clients that you have gotten on board for a cheaper fee for the long run. Now, it could also mean that some people will take credit for what you've done, and you may not get rewarded for your hard work. So your commission may be lower, for example, or your bonus, year-end bonus, may be lower than what you expected. So you have to really, really adjust your expectations, your financial expectations for the year 2025. Now, what do you do in a situation like that? Yeah, take the year as a learning opportunity. As long as you do your best, it will still be a good year on a personal level. Don't give up, don't get discouraged. Yeah. Your true talent and your true skills will eventually be noticed and recognized, but probably not in 2025. So that doesn't mean that you stop trying and that you just you tell yourself, okay, well, this is not worth my time. I'm just gonna coast in 2025. You still need to do your best, because once 2025 is over, you will get that recognition, and with that recognition comes the respect and the financial rewards as well. Now, let's see, what do we have next? Next up is Tumen. So, with Tumen in the Snake Palace, you actually have very, very good wealth luck, and you're likely to have maybe a windfall gain or a bonus, some big incentive coming in, or a big commission, a surprise financial gift, or even an inheritance, even though, that may not be all that such a happy occasion. But in any case, those who have Tumen in the Snake Palace, they actually have a good year financially. So what happens here is that you're making money quietly in 2025. So you don't have to draw attention to yourself to make money. Your strategy is to just build wealth discreetly. Make sure that you build your savings, that you have a savings plan in place, and that you don't need to you don't need to go out and brag about your skills and your talents and all of that. That is not necessary for those with Tumen. The money will come, but it's sort of like it's in a more quiet way. Yeah, so that is that takes away all the need to put in a lot of effort into showcasing your talents. Now, what's important for those who have Tumen in the Snake Palace is that you don't reveal your wealth strategies or your financial plans to other people, because that then leads to unnecessary competition and to people who will want to interfere in those strategies in order to maybe take some money away from you. That's why you need to be quiet. Yeah, apply a silent success strategy, essentially, and you will see wealth probably in the second half of the snake year. Now, next up, we have Tai Yin. So those with Tai Yin in the Snake Palace, your wealth conditions, again, is not that great in 2025. So no matter what kind of money you make, you won't be happy with the amount. So even if you make millions, you will still not be happy with what you're making. Yeah. Even if there's an increase, you won't be happy because you feel that you're worth more. Or the increments you get are minimal, even with a promotion. So you still feel sort of like resentful towards the money that's coming in, even though there is money coming in. So, it's a matter of perception, right? What maybe your expectations are way too high, or maybe you're just never satisfied with what you're getting, and that's why you feel like you have a bad year in terms of finances. The key here is not to look at short-term gains. The short-term gains, yes, they may seem like they're not that big and not really worth all the effort, but you need to take on more responsibilities, even if it does not pay more immediately. You need to wait things out and do your best. Sometimes, at work, we're being asked to take on more responsibilities that are actually in our job descriptions. And then we feel like, well, we should get paid for the extra work we're doing. For those with Tai Yin in the Snake Palace, you will probably not get paid a lot more for the extra responsibilities, if anything at all. But taking on those extra responsibilities will still help you move forward or move up the career ladder. Or even if you're a business owner, suddenly you take on more work, you do more for your clients, and it may not ultimately be rewarded in the immediate, but long term, it will benefit you. So you just, as if you're an employee, you just need to make sure that you build up your resume. And those extra responsibilities will definitely look good on your resume and will help you get a better job in the future. As a business owner, don't look at all the extra work you do for your clients. Just look at it as like a client maintenance program or whatever, client appreciation. And then, it will build your reputation among your clientele. They will feel like, okay, this person goes all out for their clients, and therefore you are making more money in the long term. So don't measure your success by the amount of money you make if you have tie-in in your snake palace. Now, next up, we have Taiyang. So Taiyang really, really has the best wealth prospects for 2025. So you essentially get whatever you want in 2025 if you use the right strategy. Yeah. So if you're stupid, of course, you can still lose all your money, regardless of what star you have there in the snake palace. But if you go out and actively look for new opportunities and study all the market trends, so you're prepared to seize the opportunities when they come your way, you can make more money and you will get what you want in 2025. So it doesn't mean that the wealth is just going to fall into your lap. Yeah, that would be beautiful. It would be really, really great. I would love that too. But that's unfortunately not how things happen. It means that you will be able to adapt to challenging situations really, really quickly and without losing money. Yeah, this is the important thing. In today's society and economy, things move very, very quickly. And there's always a high risk that we're losing money because we're not adapting quickly enough. But for those with Taiyang in the Snake Palace, you are able to avoid those losses because you have the ability to adapt quickly. So plan ahead for 2025 and actually keep up to date with all the trends that are going on in the marketplace. As an employee, think about what you can do in your career in 2025. What's the worst case scenario? And what would you do in that particular situation? Yeah, this is what you need to ask yourself to seize all the opportunities and to avoid being suddenly faced with an extreme challenge with the worst case scenario and then just struggling and not knowing what to do. So this is how you prepare. Now, next one, we have Tianliang. So those with Tianliang in the Snake Palace, congratulations, you also have above average wealth luck, but you do spend a lot of money in 2025. Yeah, so therefore, even if you earn more, even if you make more money, you are also spending more. So at the end of the year, it may not actually seem like you had that much wealth luck ultimately. So what to do? Avoid impulsive spendings to keep your expenses at bay. Instead, maybe invest in self-improvement courses or seminars or upskills so that you can enhance your career. 2025, for those who have Tianyang in the Snake Palace, is anyway a good year to upskill. So this will again pay off in the long term. So if you feel like you want to spend money, spend it on something that has a return on investment. Also, make sure that you network and extend your social and professional network. You can spend money on networking events or on joining associations and business events, conferences, and so on, memberships for associations, because that again long term has a return on investment. So think a little bit more long term and think about what you can do with the money that you want to spend. No, obviously, every now and then we indulge, that's fine, but make sure that you really, really analyze your spending habits in 2025. Now, next up, we have Tianfu. So Tianfu in the Snake Palace means that your wealth prospects for 2025 are actually quite good. provided you have a strong network and you have a strong foundation. Your in 2025, your wealth situation largely depends on your external environment. So it's not about your own business and your own capabilities, your own talents and skills. It's more about whether or not people believe in you and believe that you can do what you promise to do, which means your relationships with influential people can open doors to new markets, new clients, new countries even, right? So it's all about the external. How are you being seen by the external? So because your wealth potential is closely tied to what is going on politically and economically on a global scale, this is largely out of your control. And this means that you need to have a really solid existing network and good name recognition to truly benefit from these wealth opportunities that are coming in 2025. So make sure that you build these foundations and that you engage more on these platforms and with these networks, because then you hear about opportunities. Your name is being brought forth whenever an opportunity is announced or is available, because it's not about what you can do, actually. It's more about who knows you. So public engagement is also key in that case, yeah, because the competition in your industry will generally be quite fierce. And so your social influence will be the one factor that creates opportunities. So take care of that. Make sure that you have a good name recognition, and then the opportunities will come to you. Now, next up, we have Tianxiang. So all those of you who have Tianxiang in their snake palace, for those, the wealth energies or the wealth prospects are average. Yeah, they're not bad, they're not good, they're just average. It seems like you lack a clear direction and you're not sure about your goals. And this may be because you're not the decision maker in your career, or because you are, your state of mind is just a little bit blurry in 2025. So there's a clear lack of direction. Now, it doesn't mean that you cannot improve your wealth potential, but if you do want to improve it, you need to either be the decision maker, or you have to have very, very clear goals and collaborate with others to make sure that you reach those goals. Because even though you may feel a little bit blurred or muddled and not quite sure how to achieve those goals, if you work with others, their input can help. So having a strategy, having clear goals is really key for those with Tianxiang in the Snake Palace. And you can get that from business coaches. You can get that from your team. You can get that from your spouse. Whatever it is, you need someone to help you stay on track. Have an accountability buddy, for example. Yeah, that's very important. Now, there are certain conditions where, the Snake Palace is empty. Yeah, so like in this case, you have no stars, absolutely nothing in the Snake Palace at all. Or you only have supplementary stars. Now, the supplementary stars are Zuofu, Yobi, Wenchang, and Wenqu. So if you have a completely empty snake palace, or if your snake palace contains these 4 stars, or one of them, or 2 of them, then your wealth condition is slightly lower than average. Yeah. And that's because you don't even have the urge to find more wealth opportunities. Like, you tend to be complacent when it comes to your finances in 2028. So you're either comfortable with where you are financially and don't want to try harder, or you're too risk averse. And you may also feel like you have only limited options, and therefore everything holds you back. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but obviously we don't want to be complacent when it comes to money and financial matters, because in the long run that will backfire. So instead of doing that, you really, really need to upgrade yourself and have a higher awareness of you actually want to achieve. Yeah, in 2025, there's a tendency to just Instead of maximizing your wealth, you just focus on stabilizing things, which is also fine. Yeah, do that. But if you stay in this stage too long, it can really hold you back, and you become more and more complacent because all you want is stability, 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 and then you just remain as at the stage that you're at. So don't get trapped in that. Make sure that you become more aware of where you stand right now. Of course, evaluate what your financial state is, and then maybe with the help of a financial advisor, develop a goal and work towards that goal, even though it may just be slow steps, small steps in 2025, but take small steps forward rather than just doing absolutely nothing. All right. So this is the wealth outlook from a purple star astrology perspective for the year of the wood snake. So hopefully this helps you create a strategy, a wealth strategy for 2025, and gives you a little bit more guidance about what it is that you need to do. As always, of course, if you have comments, questions, please put them in the comment section below or contact me directly. My email address is in the description to the video. And please share this video with anybody who may be interested. Subscribe to my channel so we can grow this community, and give it a thumbs up. All right, see you guys soon. Take care.